I've seen a lot of reviews on the Video Ranking Academy, but very few seriously address its weaknesses. Let me just say before I start this that I do appreciate Sean's respectful tone. I've only seen a couple places Sean's rant was not appropriate, and I can talk about one of those instances later on in this video. He's definitely doing better than I am. That is why I've toned down this talk, and I re-recorded it. As a scholar and professor, a real critique must highlight both strengths and flaws. There's a lot right about Sean Cannell and the Video Ranking Academy. He understands the YouTube algorithm. He teaches strategy optimization and growth, but there are also problems, and they go deeper than production quality or course design. My critique will not be on gaining video ranking, but on my area of specialization in the 3 masters and Ph.Ds that I have earned, that Sean oversteps into without proper approach. The culture at Think Media mixes evangelical marketing with a kind of motivational MLM-like intensity. You hear phrases like be blessed, God's favor, and kingdom business, as if you've stepped into a church camp for entrepreneurs. Sean mentions that he went to Bible college in Calgary, but never says it was Calgary Bible Institute. I know the place well. My father, the preacher's son, went there in the 1950s. Some man paid his tuition. His parents and the church people were grooming him for the mission field. I don't think that was his plan. Instead, that school was where he had his first drink given to him by the other good Christian boys whose parents or donors wanted them to get closer to Jesus. He got drunk to the point of not even being able to stand, and this was the first time he was drinking. He left that school spiritually broken. He became an alcoholic. So yeah, I know that theology, and I'm not against alcohol. On the contrary, I've published books and articles in the wine world, and I'm pretty well known for what I have done. But I do know what kind of school that is and what it can do to the people. Sean defends Chick-fil-A's Christian values, accusing critics of being anti-God or anti-Bible. But that's a straw man logical fallacy argument. Now, I don't see Sean as a hater because he has people of vastly different racial differences working with him. Sean and his staff try to be courteous and kind to all. However, people don't boycott Chick-fil-A because of faith. They do it because of the company's anti-LGBTQ donations. That's not about religion, it's about harm. And then comes the most bizarre claim I've heard in a long time. He said the Bible is the greatest business marketing book ever written. No, Sean, it's not. It's a sacred library, ta Biblia, the books, written by traumatized ancient communities, wrestled with God, justice, exile, and redemption. It's not a playbook for startups. You're not honoring Scripture, Sean. You're using it as a prop. Then there's the upsell funnel. You're told in the 1K challenge that it is free, but then comes the $26 manual. Buy it now or the price doubles. Then comes community access. $100 more. I think it's $120 more for community access. Then VIP, another tier. This isn't transparency. It's digital revival tent, slick, emotional, and profit-driven. He teaches you to niche down. And he's right. YouTube is his lane. But when he starts quoting scripture, he usually butchers it. Sean, you have passion. You have profit, but not theological proficiency in your 3 Ps. To untrained ears, you probably sound spiritual. To trained ones, you sound lost. Today, you were wearing a hat that said, think. Just as I'm learning YouTube from you, you really need to get out of your comfort zone and read real scholars. And frankly, most of what's in the Video Ranking Academy is already on YouTube. You're mostly paying for pep talks wrapped in sales funnels. And then Sean talks about coffee. Finally, something I agree with. He says the Keurig is terrible and makes bad coffee. I agree. I use a Jura. This is my Jura. My third one. Because when you care about craft, you don't settle for gimmicks. Not in coffee, at least. But also not in theology, not in biblical studies, not in education. You know, evangelicals love applying the Bible, but when the interpretation is off, so is the application. That doesn't produce wisdom. It produces confusion and broken down lives. Sometimes even harm. Let's aim higher. Let's do better. I still haven't decided if I'm going to take my 30-day guarantee next Thursday or not. I did learn, and one of their life seminars taught me some important things. One woman, Mrs. Johnson, though, gives a lot of advice, but she doesn't tell you how to do it. Plus, I don't think she really understands people like me and the complexity of our programs, nor the intellectual rigor that went into 40 years of my research for what I am wanting to do on YouTube. You can only niche down so far before it becomes willful ignorance or breathtaking stupidity. That is a deal breaker if I have to remove all of the intellectual material that I worked so hard on for 40 years so that we could transform lives in powerful ways.